Hey guys, match frame is essentially a technique that allows us to quickly match clip in the timeline to its source clip, or the other way around, which is called reverse match frame. So it is really a great way to quickly find clips either in the media pool or in the timeline. So without further ado, let's go ahead and have a look at how it works. So to do match frame, the first thing I want to talk about is the position of the playhead, because in most cases, this is going to determine which clip is going to be used for match frame. So now to do it, there are actually three ways to go about it. The first of which is to simply click on the match frame icon that you see there in the viewer. Now it's going to immediately bring up the source clip and with the name of the source clip, as well as the in and out point automatically marked that correspond to the exact duration of the clip that you see there in the timeline. Another way to execute match frame is to hold down the Option key and then double click the clip that you want to match frame. Now this is going to bring up the source clip in the viewer, just like what we saw earlier. Lastly, you can simply hit the F key that's on your keyboard, and this is going to execute match frame. And this is personally my preferred way of working. However, it really comes down to your preference. Now, once match frame help us quickly locate the source clip, there are a lot of things we can do with it. So one of which, for example, is to only bring the video or the audio portion of the same clip and bring that into the timeline and perform whichever operation that you would like. Or we can bring a completely different range of clip and use that. So all we need to do then in that case is to simply reset the in and out points in the source clip, and then we can just bring that part of the clip into the timeline and then finish whichever operation that you would like to perform. Now, before we move on, I just want to point out that one of the technique we described earlier, which is hold down the Option key and then double click a clip. Now, if we don't hold down the Option key and then simply just double click a clip, now what you're going to notice is that we're going to get this clip that's in the viewer that looks like a source clip, but it's actually technically not. First of all, we don't get the audio or the video portion, the icon there, and also we cannot readjust the in and out points. But what you could do in this case is to adjust the duration of the clip that's in the timeline by moving the in and out points that you see there in the viewer. So I just want to point this out that if we don't hold down the Option key with this technique, then you're going to get something very different. Okay guys, I know we mentioned reverse match frame earlier. It is essentially just match frame, but we actually start at the source clip first. So once we bring up the source clip, now if there's a corresponding clip in the timeline that comes from this part of the source clip, and we hit the F key or use the match frame icon, and then the playhead will move to that clip immediately. And if it doesn't, as you see right here, that just means that there's no clip right now in the timeline that corresponds to this part of the source clip. So if we go ahead and move to another part of the source clip, let's say right here, and then we hit F key, now you're going to see that the playhead will immediately move to the clip in the timeline that corresponds to this part of the source clip. And if we have multiple clips in the timeline that come from the same source clip, then if you want to recycle through all these clips when you do match frame, all you need to do is just to keep hitting the F key. This is going to allow you to cycle through all the clips in the timeline that come from this part of the source clip. So reverse match frame, definitely a great way to help you quickly locate clips in the timeline that come from a source clip. And lastly, let's look at what happens when there are multiple tracks, when there are overlapping clips. So in this case here, the clip that's on a higher track is going to be used for match frame. Let's look at another situation here, another similar situation here. Once again, the clip that's on top is going to be used for match frame. Now, there are a couple ways to override this default behavior. One of which is to turn off auto select for the higher track. And when we do that, now if we hit the F key to execute the match frame, the clip at the bottom is going to be used for that. And another way to override this behavior is to simply click the clip that's at the bottom. Now the clip at the bottom, if we hit F key to execute match frame, is going to be used for that. Now, let's look at another situation here, another example here. Once again, by default, the clip on top is going to be used for match frame. But if we, let's say, click the clip at the bottom, now this clip is going to be used for match frame. So I hope this helps, guys, and I will see you next time.